Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the KickFit podcast. My name is Axel. In today's video, I want to explain to you the false narrative or the myth that a trained fighter cannot win on the streets. Cannot win on a street fight. And martial arts doesn't work on the streets. And quite simply, he's gonna get cooked on the streets. It is a false narrative, and I would like to explain. I want you to give me the opportunity to explain to you why people might believe and spread this, to be honest, nonsense of why prepared fighter, people that train in fighting, in martial arts, even performance martial arts, why they think that it might look or it might be wrong and that doesn't work to apply martial arts techniques in real life scenarios. Okay, so I would like to explain to you the following, okay, if you may allow. Now, it's quite simple. When we see real fights versus competitive fights, when you see a fight on TV, on a ring, a boxing match, on an octagon, whatever scenario you're watching, you see a controlled environment because it's a competition. You see the referees, you see the fighters using protective gear, judges, and the reason for that is because it's a competition, it's a sport, it's a controlled environment. A referee is there to protect the fighters. The gloves and everything is there to protect the fighters because, once again, I want to explain this very simply. It's a competition. Now, when we see a street fight, all we see is violence, chaos. It's a life or death situation. So that's why we think that real chaos, real violence versus competition. And what might believe that since we don't see techniques, we don't see proper takedowns, we don't see kicks, we don't see any of that on a street fight, that we believe that martial arts won't work on a street fight. Okay, so that's one. Now, you need to ask yourself this. If a trained fighter, people that train for years, you take away the restrictions, how well do you think he's gonna perform against the people that is not a trained fighter, with no referees and nothing to restrict him? How well do you think he might go? Because let me explain something to you about professional fighters, people who do martial arts in general. And I myself included, because I am I train karate and I made it to black belt. I'm not bragging, but this is a martial art channel. This is a fitness channel. So I need to explain something about fighting. When a fighter trains, it's not only punches and kicks. There's a lot of things in fighting that you need to train, and train very hard, and train more than just punches and kicks and takedowns. And it is conditioning. You need to condition your body, durability and physically. You need to do a lot of physical workouts because you need to condition the body for combat. Not only punches and kicks, you need to train footwork. You need to train pacing. That's why when you see videos of regular Joes challenging professional fighters, what the professional fighter do? What the trained fighter do? They just wait it out until the regular Joe gets tired. He goes with footwork. He goes with pacing. He controls the fight. You don't see these things, but that's part of learning the combat. So when you see chaos in a street fight, that's actually not a real fight. That's actually not a real fight. That's just two dudes going out, or two girls going out because they're angry at each other. And you can see there's no technique, there's no pacing. It's just, I want to destroy you, I want to kill you, blah, blah, blah. And they just start throwing all these punches. So when you see a street fighter challenging a real fighter, you see that, but you see the fighter just waiting the storm. And once that person gets tired, meaning in the first 30 seconds of the fight, that person becomes a sitting duck. It's target practice for the fighter, because we learn these things. I learned it too. I remember my first real sparring was with my sensei. And I thought, I thought it was gonna be easy. So after 3 or 4 punches and 3 or 4 kicks that I throw at him, I didn't touch him one single time. He was just moving around and I got tired. He lighted me up like a Christmas tree. So this is what I want you to learn. If you're watching this video, I hope you do. This is what I want you to learn. This is what I'm trying to explain to you. Fighters, martial artists do not only train punches and kicks and takedowns and locks and all that cool stuff. Train a lot of conditioning to not get tired, and a lot of pacing. Okay, think of it like this. You see 10 hyenas violently taking down a buffalo. See, the hyenas understand this. They take down the buffalo and they start like really angry, really hungry, really violently devouring the buffalo. 10 hyenas. Then a single lion comes in, one lion, and all the hyenas scramble. They run away. They just hanging around until the lion goes away. So you ask yourself, why not 10 hyenas go in and take down one lion? Because the hyenas understand that a lion is prepared to fight. A lion is stronger than them, it's bigger than them, but unlike the buffalo, that the buffalo is larger than a lion, the buffalo is scared, he's reacting. But a lion knows how to fight, because a lion starts preparing to fight, he's learning how to fight since the young age. Because they had brothers and they just play around so much, and that's practice. They practice in fighting. They're training themselves. So the hyenas know the lion is a war machine. He's a machine prepared to fight. So they don't mess around with him. So we're talking about 10 hyenas versus one lion. So hyenas understand this. I don't understand why human beings don't. So it goes a little to a level of disrespect. So I am here to also put some respect in martial arts, because you just cannot go around and storm in a dojo or storm in a boxing gym and pretend that just because you saw a couple of fights, think that it's easy. Because that's another thing of fighters. I got 2 things to say about a professional fighter that describe him as professional, that you look at him and said, that's a professional. This is how you know someone is really highly trained in martial arts, combat, or whatever sports. 1, makes money out of it, makes a living out of it. And 2, this is the most important. When you see a professional making things look so easy that anybody can do it, that guy is highly trained. Unbelievably highly trained. When you see Michael Jordan score 45 points, or Luka Doncic, or one of these, high percent scoring athletes, when you see any athlete making it look so easy, scoring at will, making all these great plays, when you see fighters knocking out guys left and right, winning everything really, really easy, it's because they're highly trained. So do not fall into a false narrative that just because it was easy for them, it's gonna be easy for you. Because there are a lot of things in play here. And when you go in thinking that it's gonna be easy, you're gonna get a reality check. You're gonna get a reality check one way or another because you're not trained. You're stepping into a world that you don't fully understand. And I wish I could show you some examples, but I spent a week on the most violent place on earth, X or Twitter, trying to find some clip of a martial artist losing a fight on a street fight. I couldn't find none because that doesn't happen. And if you agree with me or disagree with me, let me know. Comment down below. Send me a link or anything. Post a link on the comment section so I can take a look. If you can find a martial artist getting beat by a non-trained fighter, like a regular guy or a girl or whatever, I would like to see it. I would like to take a look at it, study it, find out what happened. But most likely all these videos, all the data, everything, and it's kind of obvious. You will see that the trained fighter will always win the fight. Once again, let me repeat that again. The reason a fighter wins the fight is because he is trained, not only in punches and kicks, but in pacing, conditioning, footwork. You might think that you're progressing by hitting him. Oh, I'm hitting him, I'm winning. No, he's just letting you get hit. He's just letting you hit him because he knows you're out of technique, you're out of shape, and you will gas out and you will not hurt him because a fighter trains durability. It's very important. If you don't train durability, you have no business in a boxing ring or in a kumite competition because you're gonna get hurt. And when you're not used to that, when you're not used to getting hurt, the body doesn't understand what happens. He just feels pain and goes into hiding, running, or just survival. And if you don't know how to train your body in those aspects and on those situations, then it's gonna go bad for you because the body you will not be thinking. You will be on pure instinct. And that's another aspect fighters train, martial arts train, thinking during stress and reacting, not going in survival instincts. Very different things. So now I hope that you understand what I'm saying. I hope that you understand, have a better perception of all these aspects of what requires to be a trained fighter. Now this is a video. This is what I'm talking about is challenging professional fighters. All right, this is not self-defense because self-defense is a whole another discussion. It's a whole other conversation because in self-defense is self-defense. So if you're minding your business and someone comes in to attack you, rob you, or stab you, or whatever, it doesn't matter who that person is. It doesn't matter if you know martial arts or not. You have to defend yourself. Okay, so that's a whole new conversation. I'm talking about the narrative, the false narrative, or the impression that martial arts won't survive on the streets. Of course, against a gun or 20 guys with baseball bats, it's not a movie. Most likely the fighter will lose. But more often than not, as I found videos, I wish I could show you some videos and examples, but just go on X. I saw guys knocking out 4 guys, 1 guy against 7 non-trained fighters versus what was obviously a trained fighter, and he was just knocking them out. Well, why? This is very important. Fighters train accuracy. So fighters train, what that means is a fighter trained to hit you right on the spot when it needs to be hit, and you will get hurt because it doesn't take much to hurt somebody. Okay, the human body has a lot of weak points. So when you're fighting, you learn how where to hit, when to hit. You probably heard the expression, the hardest punch is the one you don't see coming. Okay, we train that. Fighters learn to trick. Now, let me show you a way that you can't understand what I'm saying. This is how do you know if you know how to punch or not. Now, if you can do this, like that fast, it's mostly a karate punch. If you cannot do this, you don't know how to punch. If you feel like if you want to throw a punch and you do this, you have to go all the way back, all the way in, and your punch drop. You don't know how to punch. You don't know how to punch because you don't have developed the muscles to do a straight punch. Right? Make sense? I hope it makes sense. So if you want to throw a punch and you have to go all the way back, all the way in, and your punch drop and then come back, you don't know how to punch. You need training. I used to punch like that and I have to learn. It took me a lot of years to know how to throw a punch. And you don't even have to go all the way full force to hurt somebody. No, just the right amount of force at the right spot and the person will drop. There are hundreds of video of that. Even professional fighters. Even happen in professional bouts. Okay? So next time someone tells you martial arts doesn't work on the streets, it does. That's why there's training. And actually martial arts came from military and special forces and police and all that. Okay, so it does work. It does work. So it will give you more preparation, it will give you more confidence, and people will kind of know. I kind of know when I'm, around a supermarket or whatever, I kind of know who's trained and who's not. A bodybuilder, you don't know, because sometimes bodybuilding can be misleading. Because nowadays, bodybuilders know how to fight. Way back in the day, a couple of years ago, you were kind of scared of them because they were big. But as you saw, they're starting to get beat on fights. People understand that, big muscles and weightlifting doesn't translate into fighting. But nowadays, they're doing the combination. So beware of a bodybuilder because he might know how to kick you in the head also. Okay, and don't mess with anybody. Be a nice guy. Fighting also teaches you that, not to go around smacking people. The more you learn how to fight, the less you want to do it. It's kind of odd, and it's beautiful, to be honest. Okay, so did you agree with me? Did you disagree with me? Let me know in the comment section. What do you think? Do you think martial arts actually works on the street? Or do you think it's a bunch of BS? Or do you think all those hundreds of videos of martial artists beating up real people on untrained fighters are fake AI or CGI? Okay, so like, subscribe. If you need training or anything, follow my channel, follow my Patreon, subscribe to my Patreon. I got a lot of cool stuff there. And I'll see you on the next video. Okay, so now there you have it. Now go and have fun.